It was a time of hardship and war, but also of hope. Many brave men left families behind for the adventure and adrenaline rush of being at the battle's frontier. Almost 70 years after the Battle of the Atlantic, many have not heard of its tale, while others simply will never forget.
Pretty young, you know, and you were never going to get hurt. Somebody else might get hurt, but you wouldn't get hurt.
Fortunately for Stan Hawkes, he is a survivor of World War II, but many of his fellow Navy men weren't so lucky.
Lost a good friend of mine that I enlisted with. Was lost on Esquimalt, just outside of Halifax Harbor.
Stan's one of the lucky ones. He's able to be here today at the Mount Benson Legion Hall in Nanaimo to share his memories. With the ring of each bell, fallen soldiers are remembered.
51 lives lost.
Stan fought at the Battle of the Atlantic until the war ended in 1945.
In the early days of 41, 42, we were losing ships faster than they could be built.
He speaks about his time in the war to let those listening not only think of those who have passed, but to understand what they died for.
The galleys couldn't cook. You ended up with bully beef.
Stan enlisted into the Navy at the young age of 17. People were struggling to survive during the end of the Depression, and Stan says the Navy was a way for men to earn a living and get fed 3 meals a day. Many men enlisted out of a sense of duty, while others came aboard to impress the women with their sailor uniform. The charming sailor title came at a price, though. The outcome of the battle was a victory for the Allies, but at great cost. 3,500 merchant ships and 175 warships were sunk. When the sailors weren't battling the enemy, they were fighting against the harsh conditions of the sea.
Atrocious weather in the North Atlantic was just absolutely, you know, you were soaking wet all the time. Your food wasn't the best, and you were tired. All you wanted to do was sleep, and it was pretty rough. Can you imagine seeing 3,000 bombers going overhead at one time? 3,000. You'll never see that again.
It's a sight Stan wishes future generations won't have to experience, but it's one he hopes people will remember.
You can't forget your history. It shouldn't be forgotten. And there's so very few of my bunch left now. You know, they're all pretty well passing by. And it should be carried on so that people know, young people have an idea what was really going on.
The Battle of the Atlantic was the longest continuous military campaign, lasting over 5.5 years. It saw the deaths of over 36,000 sailors, but saw many more survive to tell its tale of hope and victory. In Nanaimo, I'm Marianne LaPlante.